Welcome, everybody, to College Basketball Preview Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today, we're going to look at the Cincinnati Bearcats playing against the Dayton Flyers at Heritage Bank Arena Friday night. I think it's 8:30 game time. There is no point spread at this point in time. I'm going to give you the pick on the game. I'm going to give you what I think the point spread should be and how to bet it from there. And if you want to bet this game, you can go to BetMGM. Click on the link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube for the best sportsbook out there to bet this game. All right, guys, Dayton and Cincinnati. This is another rivalry game for Cincinnati. The Bearcats have already played Northern Kentucky, which is right across the river. They just beat Xavier for the first time in, 5 or 6 tries. And now they're going to go ahead and battle the Dayton Flyers. So the local matchups continue to brew for the Cincinnati Bearcats. And the Flyers, I believe, are Cincinnati's best opponent yet. They are a battle-tested team that's played a very tough schedule so far this year. UC enters this game ranked 24th in KenPom, while Dayton is 31st. Dayton is one of the best offensive teams in the country. They're 13th in adjusted offensive efficiency on KenPom. Wow, the Cincinnati Bearcats have been just as good on defense. They are ranked 10th in adjusted defensive efficiency. So as the old saying goes, something's got to give. Now, this is a team that in the Cincinnati Bearcats that you've got to hope this Xavier win can turn the corner for this team because they've struggled to beat Xavier. They've struggled to beat about everybody. Not a whole lot of NCAA tournament berths over the last few years. Wes Miller needs to get this turned around. On the other end, you've got Anthony Grant, who's one of the best coaches in college basketball. This Dayton Flyer team is always good. They're always prepared. He is an excellent coach. All right. On the offensive side, I think ball handler discipline is going to be huge. Dayton is a stronger offensive team than defense, but they still represent the second best defense Cincinnati's faced this season. Xavier was the toughest so far by rankings, largely driven by pesky guard defense and man-to-man zone looks. Jizzle James is coming off an 0 for 11 game. Him and Sinus Lucosis and the rest of the UC Bearcats have to dial in this game to be able to have a chance to get the win here. Now, Dayton turns teams over 5 steals per game, which is 17th nationally, and takes care of the ball well on the other end. The Flyers won't try to run consistently all game as one of the slower placed teams in the country, but give them those easier transition chances, and your goose is cooked. You're in big trouble against them. This is a team shooting 49.5% from the floor this season, which is 25th nationally. And you have a UC team that's built to squash that advantage, though. Cincinnati is only turning the ball over 9.56 times per game, 17th nationally. They have a good enough half-court offense to give Dayton big problems. I expect James to bounce back in a big way from that 0 for 11 shooting out against Xavier. The one way to do it is to keep up his strong assist-to-turnover ratio here. His ability to probe into the paint and find big men for easy buckets near the rim is impressive. Dayton is allowing almost 50% from two-point range, which is 167th nationally. Now, Enoch Cheeks is the key. 14.7 points, 7.5 rebounds, 2 steals per game. He's one of the best defensive guards in the country, leading the team in steals and defensive rating. Cincinnati has a great chance to get his 9th win if James and the backcourt can overpower the 6', 190-pound or 6'3", 190-pound talent. Defensively, Cincinnati's superior lineup size helped them wear down Xavier's defense into the second half this past Saturday, and that needs to happen again on Friday. Dayton has only been beaten twice this season, losses to North Carolina and Iowa State in the Maui Invitational. Of course, they beat UConn, and those teams shot a combined 63 free throws at an over 80% clip in those 2 losses. Free throws are also important in any nip-tuck game, something Cincinnati knows well after posting 19 makes at the line against Xavier, but that is not in their character. They are still one of the worst teams in the country at the line, shooting 62%, which is 354th nationally. And they have to keep climbing with a good performance Friday. Another size advantage for Cincinnati should help them weather a dynamic Dayton offense and get going towards the free throw line on the other end. So free throw shooting is going to be huge. I think Cheeks and what he does is going to be huge. The Flyers have 4 guys averaging 11-plus points per game. They've got strong ball handlers like Malachi Smith. You've got Javon Bennett. They are an elite passing team that will test Cincinnati's switching ability. I mean, Dylan Mitchell can flip a game with his defensive mind, 82.9 defensive rating, which is 14th best nationally. I think he'll have plenty of chances to jump passing lanes and make up for coverage lapses against the rim. I'll take quick processing in the half court. Dayton gives opponents little leeway to recover before fouling, making up for a lack of size with strong foot speed at nearly every position. All right, UC has a great chance to get a win here. But my question is, and I think I keep going back to, is Dayton's played the tougher competition. The University of Cincinnati is coming off a huge win against the Xavier Musketeers. This is the perfect trap game here. This is a neutral site game, which usually you say the game's still at Cincinnati at Heritage Bank. Don't be surprised if there's just as many Dayton fans as Cincinnati fans. There's no better basketball fans in the world than Dayton Flyer fans. I think this. We don't know a point spread at this point yet. We'll find that out later on today. To find that, make sure you go to BetMGM, click on our link in the description in YouTube, check it out. But right now, I'm going to say if the Dayton Flyers are getting any points, take the points, take the Dayton Flyers. I would also really think hard about smashing the money line. I think UC will not be able to hit the free throws well. I think they'll start off slow. Dayton will attack, get a big early lead. UC will reel it back in. But in the end, I think Dayton wins this game 77-75. I think it's going to be a great basketball game. But I would bet the Dayton Flyers when you go to BetMGM. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Remember, follow me on X at Grueling Truth. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification on YouTube. Like, follow us on Facebook. But for now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.